All right. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Cameron. If you don't know who I am, I'm an AI automation specialist. And today I'm going to teach you guys a very important tip, a very important strategy, actually, that we can use on make.com to make you guys a lot of money. Now, this is a very essential piece of knowledge that you're going to know, that you're going to need to know on how to use make.com, because this will help you on all your agency struggles pretty much. Because today I'm going to show you how to use Apify on make.com to scrape different websites, specifically Apollo. So you can do things such as say you're trying to do outreach and you need a bunch of clients. You can get a lot of them, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000. That's what I'm going to show you here today. So like I say in all of my videos, I don't drop the blueprint down in the description because I want you guys to follow along, rewind, fast forward, so you guys can actually learn. It's one thing to see it, but doing it is going to really engrave it in here. So with that being said, let us begin. So for all of you who don't know, Apify, like it says right here, your full stack, I am sorry I cannot read, your full stack platform for web scraping. This is a very important tool, and if you don't know how to use it, you need to know. Now I'm not going to go into detail on how to use this because you can figure this out yourself. It's pretty simple. You just type in whatever you're looking for, and maybe they may have a scraper. You might get lucky. Now pricing wise, it does cost a little bit, but I just use the $40 version. That's really all you need. If you use the free version, you can't really do too much. You can just look around on the free version, but you can't really do anything. But the starter version is the way to go. And then the other tool that we're going to use is Apollo. This is the world's biggest. Okay, we're actually, you know what? This is Apollo, guys. This is the world's biggest database for scraping leads. Now, you could, let me see where it's at. It's somewhere around here. But you could pay for this, but we're not going to. Because this is a really expensive tool and I'm not paying for it. I think it's like $40 or $50. And we don't have that much money. So we're going to use Apify to get it for a lot cheaper. Specifically, go to console. We're not going to do that. Product, Apify. We're going to go to, you're just going to put in Apollo. I cannot spell to save my life. And then you will see this dude right here. Code Pioneer. You can use any one of these that you want to, but I personally just recommend this one right here. This is the one I've always used. And it says scrape up to 50,000 leads per URL search. This is a very high rated tool right here, so be careful with it. So what you're going to want to do is click on it. And it'll say a bunch of other stuff, but we're not going to do all that. I already have an account with all of this, everything set up, so I just click on go to console. Wait for that to load, get out of here. 10K leads list. Now this is how it's going to look, guys. Now we'll be back to this in a second. What I want you guys to do is I want you guys to open up a new Google Sheets. Remember what I said? Just type in sheets.new and that'll open up a new Google Sheets. And I want you to put in this information right here to follow along with. First name, company name. Now when you activate this, you're going to get a whole lot of information about a whole lot of companies, but we don't want all of that information. We just want certain information, the important information. So right now I'm just showing you this. You can use whatever information you want to, but for our specific purpose, we're just going to use the first name. We're just going to get everybody's first name and the company name, okay, guys? The second thing we're going to need is we're going to need make.com. Now I already have a little scenario open. We're just going to name this one Cam's Classroom, Apify. Ignore these for now. Actually, no, don't ignore these for now. We're going to get right to it. So the first thing that we're going to need is, remember what I said right here. We're going to need, and this lightning bolt means instant, guys. Don't forget. So we're going to need an instant trigger. And the instant trigger we're going to use is watch actor runs. It might not show up right now. Let's see. Oh, yes, it's one of the first things to show up. Watch actor runs triggers whenever a selected actor is run and finished. I can't delete that. But pretty much what that means is every time you run this little doohickey right here, it'll automatically trigger the scenario to start. Now, I know we haven't talked about webhooks yet, but I'll just give you a small summary. We're going to go into webhooks a lot in the next video, but for now, I'll just give you a small summary. Pretty much we're going to use watch actors to create a webhook. And pretty much a webhook is a bridge of some sorts to get info from a website. Can you see this? From a website. My camera's right here. So right here we have a website, and here we have make. And we're going to need something to get the information between the two of them. And the bridge that we're going to use is a webhook. Like I said, I'll go into it more in the next video, but I just want you to have that visual representation in our minds. So the first module we're going to have right now is watch actor runs. Now, if you look in here, you're going to get this nice little webhook. You're going to have to make a webhook. I'll just do it with you guys. Click on add, and then name it whatever you want to. But once you're here, you're going to pick the actor. Like I said, you've linked your account now, so all of your actors should come up. So we have Apollo, Scraper, 50K leads. And that's the one we're using right here. So this is the one we're going to want to pick. Apollo. I'm not going to do it because I already have it. But you would click the scraper that you want to use. Assuming that you're using it for a scraper. There's other things that you can use Apify for, but we're just going to scrape for now. So close out of that, and then it's going to ask you to show an address. Now I'm not going to show actually it doesn't matter. I'll just change it afterwards. You're going to want to take this right here. This is your webhook URL. Copy this. Copy address to clipboard. Like I said, don't think too hard about this. I'll explain it in the next video. Just copy this. Just follow the process. Copy this, and then you're gonna want to go to Apollo, then go to integrations, and then you're going to click on add integration. Wait, no. It should already be right there. Never mind. It should already be right there. Edit integration. Just a moment. And then you're going to want to paste that URL that you got from Make right here. And then once you paste it in, you're going to want to go back to Make. Click on Save. Then you're going to want to click on Run Once. And now this is going to start running. Then you're going to want to click on Test. And now this should fail. Sooner or later it'll fail. Sometimes it takes a while. Okay, I'm in the wrong webhook. But just that's the process right there. I'm in the wrong webhook. This one right here. I have two different webhooks for this, but don't worry about that. Okay, stop that. Now try it again. I was in the wrong webhook. Test, and now. There we go. If you've connected your webhook right to Apify and you test it, it should fail. It's supposed to fail. It's just sending a ping test to make sure you have everything connected. If you don't have it connected correctly, as you just saw, it'll just load forever and nothing will happen. The information from Apify won't make it to make.com. But if you do have it connected the right way, then the information from Apify will make it to make.com and it'll tell it to fail. So that means you've done everything right. If it fails, if it says watch actor runs fail, you've done everything correctly so far. So now what you're going to want to do is not that. What we're going to want to do now is go back to Apify. Go back. Make sure you save that. Now go to input. Now this URL right here, go like this, copy it. Now go back to, close it up, close that. Copy and paste, Control V. Now you have that in there. And I just have it for roofers. I think what location, it doesn't, what you're searching for really doesn't matter. You ultimately just can open up Apify or Apollo, and just use that search term. Don't worry about any of this over here. Don't worry about anything to search for. We're just doing a walkthrough. You can search for your own stuff on your own time. But so pretty much we're going to scrape 500 different roofing companies right now for outreach. Say we want to cold call them or cold email them. We're gonna need clients to We're going to need clients to email, guys. And we're gonna need the information, and this is how we're going to do it. We're going to go back to Apollo Scraper. Like I said, pasting in a URL. Now, I don't know if you watched the last video, but if you did, this is what I was talking about right here when I say credits. So, pause real quick. Let's walk and talk through this. Let's save this very quickly. Save. Organization. I have the $10 version of make.com, so I have 10,000 credits. So every time, let's go back to scenarios. I didn't have to do that. Every time something is ran, I'll explain this the best way I can. Every time an action is completed, it's going to use a credit. So every time it watches, so let's break it down like this. Once you activate this is your trigger. It's going to watch this actor run, which is what it's doing. No matter how much information you get from this Apollo or this Apify scraper, all these A's are killing me. No matter how much information you get from this Apify scraper, it's one run. So you're going to use one credit. So now instead of you having 10,000 credits on your account, you're going to have 9,999 credits on your account. Then you're going to use your next credit. Get data set items. You're going to get that information from Apify that you just scraped. And you're getting all of that information right there. It says get data set items, because that means it's getting everything, not just one. And so you're going to use another credit. And then it says add a row, not add rows. It says add a row, which means that we're scraping 500 rows. 500 rows of information, 500 different companies, guys. So that means that add row. Each company is a row. So that means this is going to run 500 times, which means every time you run this, you're going to use 502 credits from your account. So you're going to want to watch that, you guys. You're going to run out of credits. The whole thing of Make is you want to try and get this to be as most efficient to where you're using the least amount of credits. Sometimes you can avoid that, but you want to try and use the minimum amount of credits. So you'll see it in action. It'll pop up on the sides once you run it. But go back, exit, unlink this. So now what you're going to want to do is don't link this, ignore these right here. Just imagine these aren't here. Run this. Well, no, don't run it yet. Make sure you put this on 500. I believe for this you have to do at least 500. You can't do a minimum of 500, it's going to fail. You can do clean output or take it off, whichever one works more. If you don't do clean output, you're going to get a lot of information. So for the sake of this, just do clean output for now. Just turn this on. And then what you're going to want to do is click save and start. And now just sit back and relax for the next few seconds, and it's going to scrape 500 different roofing companies for you guys to cold email. Okay, so now we're back on 400. So now what you want to do is click on run once. Now, once that finishes running, this is going to say completed. This has to be done within 60 seconds because this only will run for 60 seconds. So hopefully it finishes within 60 seconds. There we go. Completed. Succeeded. And now this should say completed once that webhook triggers. Okay, there we go. It should say succeeded status. Succeeded. That means that it worked, guys. So right now in this little bundle right here, nothing is there except for the word succeeded and a bunch of other useless information. But like you can see, this number 1 right here means you've used 1 credit. So in order to get those 500 leads that you just scraped from Apollo into, say, a Google Sheets that you created earlier, this Google Sheet right here, you're going to want to use this little guy named unlink. Get data set items. So put these two together, and now that you've done that, you should have something that says default dataset ID. Excuse me. You should have this right here. If not, just type it in. It should be something of dataset ID. Dataset ID. You'd use this and put it right here for dataset ID. And we'll just put the limit. This relates to the credits right here. Limit. To use the minimum amount of credits, just put 50. Don't do more than that. Whoa, not 550. Like I said, you have scraped 500 leads, but you don't want to do all of that. We're just doing a test. Do not do 500 because you're wasting leads. Unless your niche is for whatever you're doing, roofing companies, don't put it on 500. Just do 50. Because if you do 500, you're going to use 500 credits and you're just wasting 500 credits. So don't do that. Just put it on 50. Just leave the format as JSON and save. Now, this is where things are going to get crazy at. You're going to want to connect this. Now, I don't believe you may or may not have information. So actually, we're not gonna do that. Unlink. So I want you guys to do this again. Do exactly like you just did last time, and run it. Or you could just do this. Just start this. Now I don't think Make explains this to you. They really should explain this to you. But if I was to start this right now, immediately, okay, yeah. If I was to turn this scenario on and make it active, save. If you run Apify right now, if you run that actor again, and you have the tab open, it won't work. I don't know why they don't tell you that, because it took me a while to figure this out. Maybe I missed over that in the tutorial or something. But if you have the page open, if you have the scenario open and you have the scenario active also, it won't work. You have to, excuse me, we can close this out now. You have to actually have the what's it called, closed. So go back to actor again, start, and now you're running it again. Yes, you are wasting money, but it's only 48 cents. I know you have money. I know you have that 48 cents. So we're going to wait for that to run, and then I'll be back. And also, like I said, remember, save and exit. You can be on this screen right here. From this screen right here, it will work. Okay, so now this is about to finish. So like I said, since you don't have the tab open, it's gonna show right here that your scenario is going. Remember, you can't have it open once you have the scenario on. Right here where it says on off, if it's on, you can't have a scenario open or it's not gonna work. So now, since that's finished on this side, you should get information. There you go. Now we can go back in here. We can close this out. Full screen this again. Zoom in some. Now we can bring our Google Sheets back in. And now you're going to want to, you have first name. This is the Google Sheet we're using right here. So if you guys don't remember how to connect it, make your connections up here. Select path, just leave that. My Drive. Then you're going to find that spreadsheet, which is Cam's Classroom, whatever you named it. Then you're going to pick sheet 1. First name. You can type that in. You're going to have a lot of information here. Now, like I said from earlier, if you don't leave clean output off, if you turn clean output off, you're going to have a lot of information. So like I said, for the purpose of this tutorial, make sure you have clean output on. So now you're going to get a bunch of information about companies. So like I said, we only want the first name and the company name, and that's going to be organization name. You can kind of read right here. Now that you have information to work with, we have, so like I said, we can just type it in, name. I was not trying to do that. Name, and now they're both right here. So we have company name, and you can do name or first name. I'm just doing first name. So now that we have those right there, you click on save. And now we're going to run this. I should not have closed that. It's right here. I should not have closed that. All right, so now we're going to do this one more time, guys. Start. And also I have a filter right here, delete this. Set a filter. Save, okay. So now one last time, guys. It's running. Exit out of this. Make sure you have your scenario on. And wait for the magic to happen. Okay, so I almost missed our mark, guys, but now it's at 400. So watch this. Once it finishes, it's going to send all of this information to a Google Sheet, to your Google Sheet at that. It's almost done. And like I said, also, it'll give you the emails and stuff. I just don't want to expose their emails like that on the interweb. But if you wanted to, you could have another tab called emails, and then you would put emails in your Make, and then you would also grab their emails and put it in this Google Sheet too. But now, watch this. No hands. It's doing this by itself, guys. You're getting all the information. 500. You have 500 leads. You're not going to get 500 because, like I said, we put it on 50. But you have 500 leads right now. We got 50. Just like that. That's how you use it, guys. It is actually, I won't lie. It is kind of hard to get used to how to use this, and a lot of YouTubers don't really give you good information on how to use Apify. They kind of give you bad tutorials and don't really break things down for you guys. But that's what I'm here for. So, like I said, you're going to get a lot of information. You just pick what you want to pick and put it in right here on this. I was not trying to do that. But like I said, there's a lot of different information you can pick too, such as emails. You have their person. He doesn't have a personal email, but you have their LinkedIn URL. That's going to be important for a lot of your whatever you guys are doing. The first name, last name, their countries, their headlines, industry, whatever they're in. Their email is somewhere in here. We can just type it in also. Email. There's emails. The email. There's a lot of information in here that you can get. But yeah, I just want to make this quick video just to show you guys how to get this done. If you guys haven't seen already, or you guys skipped ahead and you missed my first video, the beginner tutorial, go back and watch that. I gave away a lot of great information in that video too. And in our next video, we're going to be talking about webhooks, but we'll talk about that in the future. So I guess this is the end of the video, guys. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Make sure you guys drop a like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, just drop them down in the comments, and I'll make sure to get back to you guys lickety split. But have a great rest of your day, guys.